Well, I'm sitting in my chair late at night, watching crime unfold under the pale moonlight. From the darkest corner, stories unfold. True crime jewels, she's brash and she is bold. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep into the mysteries that never sleep. From missing kids in Tennessee to angry husbands named Barry. True crime's calling, and we're taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This True Crime Jewels got what you need. From missing people to twisted minds, we're unraveling secrets old Barry tried to hide. Every clue, every twist and turn. In the world of crime, there's always more to learn. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep into the mysteries that never sleep. From Christopher's anger to Stephen Fisher's lies. The truth is calling, and justice won't be denied. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. True Crime Jewels on the YouTube streets. Lights are low, suspense is high. We're chasing truth, we spot every lie. Step into the darkness, hold on tight. Two flashlights out there in the dead of night. On the YouTube screen, we're digging deep. Morpheus case is hot. A boy in Tennessee won't be left behind. From the coldest cases to the ones that shine. True crime's calling, and we're taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This True Crime Jewels got what you need. We're always watching Barry and waiting for the truth. In the world of crime, we discuss the proof. So hit that play and join the True Crime journey with Jewels of Thought and her gemstone family.
Hey y'all, how are you doing? I hope that you are all doing very, very well. Okay, so you remember that interview that we watched that was on Christopher Proudfoot was on Elevated Truth a couple of months ago. And during that interview, Christopher became quite triggered and he got very upset with Elevated Truth. And so he came out from underneath the rock to rear his ugly little head and spout off about what he was upset about, right? And in truth, Elevated Truth didn't really understand what had Christopher Proudfoot so upset, but we broke that down and had the realization that actually, you know, Christopher Proudfoot, the police do have evidence that he was home the night that Sebastian went missing. So I think that is worthwhile. I think it is notable. I think that it's the whole point of a lot of what we do here on this whole true crime, you know, community. And this is, so I see a lot of value in going back and looking at old interviews, especially when a case is cold and there's not anything new that's coming out, right? I think there's a great deal of value in going back and kind of going through methodically with logic and kind of perusing old interviews. And so as I was looking, there's also some interviews of Seth that I want to go through that I haven't yet done. But this was one of the interviews that I really did not watch. This channel, the people on this channel, not all of them, but a majority of them, it's difficult for me to listen to them. And so I don't know, I've heard little snippets of this interview, but I haven't really taken time to really be methodical and compare information that's said. So if you would like to stay and listen with me, then I welcome you to stay. I also know that it is a big night for YouTube creators, and there may be a creator you want to go listen to, and I certainly understand that. But I am going to go back through this interview. And then if you guys, if you want to stay, then that'll be great. Oh, and it's always the cover up, isn't it? 100%, Vicky. Yes. Diane, I hope you're doing okay. I know today was not an easy day for you. So I hope you're feeling okay. I know what you're going through is incredibly, incredibly difficult. And I'm so sorry. Only listen to his channel, to Elevated Truth. Yeah, he's pretty good. But this is Queen Bee. And I don't really have a lot in common with any of them. Well, I like Black Sheep Ange. She doesn't do controversial stuff, but the others I don't really listen to. So, all right. Yeah, you did get done. Very good, Diane. Well, I know that it was, I know it's been very, very difficult, and I'm real sorry that you're having to go through that. Really am. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And, anybody wants to come up on panel and have a discussion, you're more than welcome, though, I certainly don't expect anyone to. All right, here we go.
Oh, it's because you're worth it.
We're here for you guys. We support you in everything that you're doing. We support you and stand with you.
There's apparently a black sweatshirt that said Yellowstone on it that they found in some woods or something. They said there was a blanket that they found and things of that nature. They tried to turn it in to law enforcement, and law enforcement asked them where they found it. And when they gave them the information about it, they were kind of like, okay. Doesn't really kind of fit the area where they were looking. But when he was trying to make a point of it, I said, well, why don't you just do a DNA test? Swab your cheek and swab the material and submit it in and find out what it is. And if it's nothing, you can throw it away. I don't know where they went with it, but that's basically what it is. They said they found a blanket. They found.
It makes me nervous anytime this guy starts acting like he's being helpful. You know what I mean? There's this undertone of being a smart ass, and he's just playing a game. And we do see that from other people that are now serving time in prison for killing family members. But this thing, swab them and do a DNA test. All is well. Do you know how expensive that is? And may not really tell you much at all, because there's transfer DNA, there's multiple people on any given item. He's your general smart aleck, I think.
Found a sweatshirt, but who knows? The stuff with Terry Lynn.
Oh, all about
allegedly,
him,
from what we understood, law enforcement, she called them. They came to the scene, looked at it. Apparently, it's nothing, from what we were told. So
welcome, Ash Cash. So good to have you.
But
well, I'm sorry, but hanging out in a parking lot at 3 o'clock in the morning in the rain, talking on your live stream is not searching for Sebastian to me.
Now, this is so interesting, because this is the Christopher Proudfoot fan club, correct? These are card-carrying members of the fan club. And it's very strange. It's not that their point of view is not simply that they support Katie and Christopher. It gets much more sinister than that. Instead of just saying, well, we support you, Katie, and we support you, Chris, they've gone completely the opposite direction, saying, Seth is evil, Seth is the devil. And I guess because Brittany J supports Seth, they've also developed this same level of poison for Brittany J. It's very odd. It is. They seem unhinged when it comes to Brittany. There's something really odd about their point of view on Brittany. But even if we just focus just on Christopher, Katie Proudfoot, and their behavior, these people claim to be standing up for what's right. Oh, it's so horrible for you to attack a grieving mother and father. And they're claiming that Chris is the father. You're so horrible to do that. And yet they turn right around. They've called Seth a P-file. They've called him an rapist. I mean, they've made fun of his work career. They've questioned that he doesn't work. And then they've questioned that he does work. I mean, the guy can't take a breath without this group finding something sinister about it. It's really odd. This is a strange group, truly.
It just is not. And that's what she was doing all fucking morning.
Well, yeah. Well, I just don't know how people stream for 10 hours straight.
Now, Mr. Big Shot here. Oh, I just don't know how people stream for so long. He goes on to spend 2.5 hours on this stream. And it's not even your channel, Christopher Proudfoot. You're just soaking up all the girl love, aren't you? I mean, it's kind of gross the way that you have followed all these different cases of missing kids, murdered teenagers. You've been in the middle of every single one of them. And then finally, when you have a missing boy out of your own house, now you're actually a panelist. I'm kind of thinking maybe you got yourself an attorney and your attorney told you to shut the hell up because you were doing the worldwide tour of YouTube podcasts and now you quit, except for when your little friend Elevated Truth pissed you off. Then you had to come out and threaten people and screech at them. So he, just like he said, oh man, Riley Strain's family, I just can't imagine what they're going through. You can't imagine what they're going through. You yourself have a stepson that has gone missing. What do you mean you don't know how they felt? You're living it, dude. Or was he really? He didn't seem to give much of a damn that Sebastian was gone. Oh, but Riley, because he was a big, tall, handsome, strong, athletic kid, that would have been worthwhile missing. He reveals who he is if you listen.
What she's been doing for 25 days.
These tragedy pimps. That's what I said. She's tragedy pimping right now, building her channel, getting clicks and views, and it's disgusting.
All right, it's disgusting. It's tragedy pimping. And yet, who do you have up on your panel, Queen? Who's the real tragedy pimp? I think you're Queen Grifter.
It's fucking disgusting.
It is. It's awful the way you guys befriend the victims'
it's
families.
It's a twofold deal. It is disgusting on that, but it does keep his name out there, unfortunately. I heard there's a lot of folks pulling back, so.
Yeah, you were happy about that too, weren't you?
Well, and I will say in regard to Terry Lynn, like I will give her credit all day because I have seen her walking through the woods. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it is that catch-22, right? Like, are you doing it because you really want to find him, or are you doing it because you know this will make you have a lot of views?
Why do you care? I ask all of you in my channel right now, if you have a missing loved one, maybe it's an elderly person with Alzheimer's that's wandered off, maybe it's a young person. If you have a missing person in your family or a friend of yours, do you care why someone is keeping their name out there? Or are you just damn glad that your loved one is getting attention instead of slipping off into obscurity like the vast majority of missing people? Do you care? Do you care if people are making money off the work they're doing to keep your loved one's name out there? Do you care? I'm not going to care. In fact, I'm probably going to offer them more money to keep talking about it.
Exactly.
And then it's like if she does come across him or does find him, it's on a live stream. It's going to be on a fucking live stream for forever. You know what I mean?
So what, Queen?
No, it won't be on there forever.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying like the internet's forever,
But you'll never be able
We
to
can get it down, but you know what I mean? It just sucks that people do that kind of shit. And it's just like, if you're doing, if you're going to search, then actually search,
True.
take it serious. That's how I got to say. Like, if you,
which is very funny to me.
It's great that people are searching.
That she's sitting up there acting like a big shot, telling everybody how the world works. Not that she's doing it, just that she's so special, she's so arrogant that she's going to make the rules for all of us and tell us how to do it. You're wrong, Queen Bee. You're dead ass wrong. You don't have to be out there running around in the woods, because you don't have any idea if Sebastian was ever even in those woods. He didn't leave the house. He refused to go outside most of the time, unless he was hiding in fear from Christopher Proudfoot. Eric Craddock himself said, we don't have any evidence that Sebastian ever left the home. What do you think that means, Queen Bee? You're so damn smart. You know so much. What do you think they're telling you? Christopher Proudfoot knows what it means. That's why he and Katie have lawyered up. It's why they're not online anymore. It's why they're preparing for what's going to happen when there's an arrest.
But I think they should take it serious,
Right.
And I don't know.
I don't know. It's like I said, it is a twofold game. It sucks that there is such negativity out there.
Right.
That's never, and it should never be the result that somebody's looking for. It never should be. Bashing, negativity, none of it. It should be.
Now this is the son of a. Okay, I'm gonna watch my language. This is the dude who's threatening the life of private investigators that are working on the case of Sebastian Rogers. This man that's just saying there should never be any negativity. Everybody should always be very, 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 very sweet. You are so bad at manipulating people, Christopher Proudfoot. It's an embarrassment. If I was you trying to manipulate people, get online, do live streams, manipulate people, I would have got off too, because you suck.
Be drawing everything right back to the sole purpose. Sebastian is missing. We need to bring our son home.
It's not your son, buddy.
Well, unfortunately, it's kind of a playbook with these people. It's really a playbook. They do that with a lot of cases. They start bashing innocent people because it brings them views, and that's how it goes. They've done it.
Now, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Lassie is sounding the alarm because little Timmy is falling down into a well, and he's not sure at all about what's going on in the streets of YouTube as he's down in that well. But the lady that is sitting right underneath him on this panel, that would be one Cluminati. Guess who goes live night after 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 night ad nauseum? Guess who goes live every single night to do what? To attack the father of a missing kid and somebody who supports that father, Brittany J. That's what Clue does every night. Every single solitary night without interruption. So what the hell are they talking about? You know what they're doing? They're sitting up on this panel, blowing smoke up each other's behinds. You know what I mean? What they're saying is so nonsensical. They don't even recognize how completely illogical their conversation is. You're mad because people are talking about the Sebastian Rogers and the facts about him going missing. But you yourself are doing the same thing. You're mad because people are pointing the finger at Katie and Christopher, but you guys are doing exactly the same thing. You're just doing it to Seth. The problem is that Sebastian was not at Seth's house. Sebastian wasn't anywhere around Seth the day he went missing. Sebastian did not go to the Texas Roadhouse with Seth. Sebastian didn't disappear in the middle of the night into Seth's neighborhood.
Many times in many different cases. You can go back, Dylan Rounds, Quentin Simon, Carly Rodney, Summer Wells. It's like cases. Aiden Clune, Karen Reed. Right now there's a trial where like 15 people are being accused of being murderers and harassed for 2 years who were state witnesses by social media and a blogger. You know what I mean? Like, this is how they are. And, you know.
Well, so one of my things, and I mean, I can openly say this because myself, Katie, and Seth are living this every single day.
Right.
And there are so many families out there, all these families that are missing loved ones and things of that nature. When it comes to a point where there's no evidence to support foul play, everybody has been extremely cooperative. There's nothing, you know, right now they have nothing. So after a certain period of time, why can't there be like a legislative thing where it puts out where once you get to that point, why can't somebody come out and say, you know, the parents are in the clear?
Yeah.
I think there should be some legislation.
Why do they need to do that? You say there's no evidence. There's a huge piece of evidence, Christopher Proudfoot. Your truck was caught up in their geofencing net. And geofencing isn't done without the signature of a judge. And the judge will not sign a blanket warrant because it won't hold up in a court of law. It'll get thrown out as evidence. So in order for that geofencing warrant to stand up, they have to name a time and a location of a crime and what they're looking for with the geofencing net. And guess what, buddy? You've already admitted your truck was one of the 2 open connections that was caught in the middle of the night at around 3:30 a.m. when that car was caught on camera in Katie's neighborhood. So you're cooked. You may think that because you haven't been arrested yet, you're in the clear. No, sir. Absolutely not.
Out there that should be able to do that, you know, because I mean, how long? I mean, you got Summer Wells' family 3 years.
Yeah.
And God knows there's other cases that are 20 years.
Taunted for 3 years straight. I mean, I talked to the grandmother, and it's awful the shit they've been through.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think legislation has not caught up to social media. Most of your representatives don't even know how to use an email, let alone.
Oh, they're not all that stupid, B-Tim. I know you're one of those little people that likes to build yourself up into importance by stepping on the heads of others. But just because you say, oh, the representatives are so dumb, they can't even operate their email. But me, I'm super B-Tim. I can do all kinds of emails and stuff. You would be completely wrong, B-Tim. You have no idea what you're talking about. None. You are a little guy who tries to build yourself up by talking down on others. And that's wrong. As far as police clearing the parents, is that really your focus, Chris? Is that really what you want, is for the cops to come out and say, hey, Katie and Chris had nothing to do with Sebastian going missing? And then what? How does that help you find Sebastian at all? Your truck was caught up in that geofencing net, period. There is simply zero evidence that Sebastian ever left that house. There are exactly 37 cameras with lights around, and he wasn't caught, and not on a single one of those cameras. Not one. You guys are going down. All they're doing right now is working with the prosecutor to make sure that all the charging documents in order and that their evidence supports every element of the charge.
On understanding social media, Facebook. I mean, you had people asking if TikTok was an online platform. Do you need to go online during their review of TikTok? And I think local authorities have not caught up to the damaging effects. And also, a lot of times it gets fueled by TV like hacks like Nancy Grace, who is a horrible person.
Okay, that's hilarious. Again, we got little B Tim down in the bottom of the web. Help me, help me. I'm in the well, Lassie. I'm in the well. Okay. Wrong, B Tim. You're just wrong. This idea that Nancy Grace is a hack, no. She was a Los Angeles prosecutor. I don't think that she's a hack. She has been doing the whole true crime shtick for decades. So again, you got a little nobody who is tearing down someone who's had a great deal of success. And the only reason he's doing it because it makes him think he's important. And you know what, B. Tim, most people figure out by the time they're around 20, 25 years old, that if the only way that you can build yourself up to feel significant is by tearing down other people, you got a real problem. You need to work on yourself. But you're an old guy and you still hadn't figured it out. Why do you have to tear Nancy Grace down? Why do you have to call her a hack? Why? Because she said something inconvenient to the little man that you're trying to impress? Your little friend that is up on your panel making you all feel so special and warm and fuzzy? You know, it wasn't that long ago that this same little group of people were all sitting around scratching each other's backs, patting each other's butts, telling each other, oh yeah, we would never make friends with a victim's family. How dare they make friends with the victim's family? Well, look right there, Queen Bee sitting in old Christopher Proudfoot's lap. Look how warm and cozy they are together. You guys are hypocrites. You're dumb. You're full of it. You don't even remember what you've been saying. You're literally saying exactly the words, the exact accusations that you've been throwing at Brittany J and Seth and others, even Pascal. You guys are saying exactly the same thing about them that you are absolutely doing right now. And right there at the bottom, Cluminati, surrounded by all of you guys, Queen Grifter herself, every single night on her channel, ad nauseum, never covers anything else.
Tragedy pimp and a garbage person, in my opinion.
What exactly is a garbage person, B. Tim? I know you may be lacking oxygen down there in the muddy bottom of that muddy well. Help me. Okay, but what's a garbage person exactly? Like, how would we define garbage person? Natalie from California, my friend, how would you describe a garbage person? Carol Johansson, what is a garbage person? Someone help me, Dakota, please, sweetheart. What is a garbage person? I don't know what that term is. You know where that term came from? I think it originated with Molly Golightly. Am I right about that or am I wrong? Trash people? Is that where that saying came from? Garbage people? Wasn't it Molly Golightly? I think that yes, Natalie. See, Natalie knows the deal. Yeah, she was on her panel one night and she was talking big because that's who she is, right? She's got a big personality, big persona, takes up a lot of space. And she was talking about the people in her channel were awesome and that they were the beautiful people and they were smart and they had money and that they don't associate with those people in that other channel. Those are garbage people. They're physically unattractive. They don't have very much money. They don't have very good jobs. I mean, this was Molly Golightly, and Natalie was there. Am I describing that correctly or not, Natalie? Have I got that wrong or is that true? Hey, pretty bird, welcome. Hey, Denise, Lady Rebel, Woman's Warrior. Oh Lord, Woman's Warrior. You never knew Molly Golightly? Oh my goodness. Whew. Molly Golightly was a force to be reckoned with. She finally lost her channel, but she definitely put on quite a show. Yeah, kind of like low class people. Yeah, exactly. Okay. $20 and below equals garbage people. I mean, it was so offensive. Okay. And Molly was funny, right? She's a funny lady. And so when she was saying it, you were horrified, but then she was so hilarious the way she was talking about it. You couldn't help but laugh, but it was a terrible thing to say about other people. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Now we got, help me, Jimmy's falling into the well, Lassie. We got old B Tim there, all covered in mud at the bottom of Lassie's well, screaming about garbage people. Please, come on, you guys. This is a monumental waste of time to listen to this panel so far.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
Everybody.
Even Christopher Proudfoot laughed at B Tim. Listen, you're going to hear Christopher Proudfoot literally laughs at B Tim. Oh, that's great. That is epic. Listen.
Person, OG tragedy pimp and a garbage person, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Everybody.
Did you hear him laugh at B Tim? That was bad. I would be embarrassed if I were.
He has an opinion, and I'm a firm believer in this. You don't have to like everybody's opinion, but all opinions I feel should be respected. I mean, but we're human. We're human, and that's what makes this world go round. Without differences of opinions, and without being able to have an agreement to disagree or disagree to agree, either way.
Agree to disagree. Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So Black Sheep Designs, and she and I are friends. We get on panel and talk, and we don't agree about everything, but we don't hate each other. We don't like go after one another and embarrass each other. And we just agree to disagree. That's it. That's all. So I don't know, this whole Christopher Proudfoot, we are the world, we are the children. That's a little deep. I mean, Chris, why didn't you sing Kumbaya? Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. Like, did you have that opinion about Sebastian? Was it okay with you if Sebastian had a different opinion than what you thought? Because I found it to be interesting that Katie took a photograph of Sebastian eating his last meal to send to you to prove that he ate his food? Chris, color me red, but that does absolutely sound like someone's got a control problem. You literally would make your wife take a photograph of her child's food, not your child, her child's food, so you could pass approval on the amount that he ate or not? Chris, it's absolutely shocking that you believe you have so much control and power over other people. And I don't know what the deal is with Katie. That, I mean, there's some, one could speculate, but the women I know, well, let me correct that. The women you were married to, most women would just tell you to go jump in the lake. No, go jump in the well. Save beat him. Spare Lassie the problem. For you, the stepfather, to say, okay, I'm going to work and I'm going to work on big cranes and I'm going to build big old buildings. And while I'm gone, you're the little lady. You're the little lady of the house. You got to keep things going along, Katie, the little lady. So after Sebastian eats, you take a photograph so I can give my approval on whether he ate or not. Shut up. What? I don't know why Katie didn't tell you to go jump in the damn lake. That is unbelievable that woman has to take a picture of her son's plate to get your damn approval. For what? So he could not get a spanking before bed? You better eat all your macaroni and cheese or you gonna get the strap. Mama's gonna take the strap after you if you don't eat your macaroni and cheese. Per Mr. Chris. Come on, Christopher Proudfoot. Go find you a damn therapist and get your SHIT together because it's ridiculous. And Cluminati can sit up there and talk all big and act all cool about how great you are and how great Katie is and all that. But I'm going to tell you something. The first time that Cletus told her to take a photograph of anything so that he could give his stamp of approval, we all know what Cluminati's going to say. She's going to say, Cletus, kiss my big ass. So I don't know why these people are pretending that you were not behaving badly. To tell your wife to take pictures of her son's food so you can pass approval? Anybody in their right mind would listen at that and just see red flags. Saying to a kid, where's your belt? You wearing your belt? No, sir. Okay, go get it. Go get it. Let me have it before you put it on because I'm going to slap you on the buttocks. That's just the kind of guy I am, Patooey. Honestly, it is disgusting that these very people who talk so big about the way kids ought to be treated, no one calls you out on the control that you are exerting on Katie to take a photograph of his food so Mr. Chris, sir, can approve. Absolutely unbelievable.
So, I mean, if you don't have that, then life is going to be very boring. And nobody's going to be able to see things from a different perspective because they're always going to believe that only their views are right. And I mean, yes, people bash me. They bash Katie and Seth. If you sit back and you look at some of those things, like, yeah, I understand people got upset with me because I was pretty pissed off that night.
He edited himself. Didn't. Okay, what were you really going to say? Let's just be honest here, Chris. Because you were an asshole? Because you were an offensive, aggressive, threatening, arrogant, smart-ass asshole? Is that what you were going to say? And then you said, oh, no, I was just a little angry. I was a bit miffed.
Yeah, I got it. So was it necessarily the best thing in the world?
I feel like you had every right to be that upset. You had every right to be angry and upset.
Kiss his ass,
and I understand.
Kiss his ass. Kiss his ass. Maybe he'll be your friend, girl. Maybe you can get him to be your friend, and he and Katie will come on your channel every night. And guess what's going to happen to those numbers? Tick, 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 tick. Tell us all about grifting, girl, without telling us about grifting. You're the worst of them.
That I had that right. I understand everybody's personal feelings that I should not have been as aggressive. All right, cool. I respect that. Maybe, you know, but at the same time, I am a person. So is my wife, and so is Seth. We're all grieving in our own ways.
So is Seth? Seth is a person? Well, you better tell little Timmy down there buzzing around in the mud. Help me, Chris. You're a big, strong man, Chris. Help me. Because this little group you got going on here, Chris, the Proudfoot fan club, they have called Seth the most unforgivable names imaginable. They have just invented lies about the man that have absolutely nothing to do with reality whatsoever. They have doxed him to kingdom come. They have gone back and looked at his work record and made it completely public to everyone else around. Tell me something, Christopher Proudfoot. Should we talk about your record? Do you think we ought to make it public knowledge why you don't work for Shriners anymore or work on the contract with Shriners? That was there trouble before Sebastian went missing? Should we talk about that? Should we talk about some of the business dealings of Mommy Boom Boom? I don't think we should, because I don't think it has a single thing to do with the price of eggs in China. Has nothing to do with Sebastian at all. Has nothing to do with the fact that he went missing. You didn't stand up for Seth, did you? When they were passing his work records around, making fun, shaming, and humiliating him. Okay, wait a minute. Now, I'm going to take a little tangent here, people. One of them, I wouldn't say her name, but let's just say her name is A for asshole. All right? She's literally really had a great time calling Seth dumb. Like she laughs about it and goes, oh my God, he's so dumb. What's wrong with him? He's so dumb. She loves that whole shame thing, calling IQ, blah, 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 blah. This behavior from a woman who went to a work meeting in Denver and stayed so blasted and high, baked, her brain was fried that she could not even attend the meetings to the attorney's offices. She lost friends because her behavior on that trip was so horrible. And then the crown on top of the whole thing that reveals her IQ, I might add, she bought weed in Colorado and mailed it to her home in Florida, where even medicinal weed was not a thing at the time. She mailed it not through FedEx, not through UPS. She literally mailed it through the United States Post Office. Yeah. And the sheriff's department left her a little message on her door. We got something of yours, girl. True story. It happened. I'm not kidding. So I'm a little confused when she sits over there on her channel night after night after night after night after night, and she goes after Seth and Brittany J nonstop. That's the only content she's made in months. I'm a little confused as she laughs and jokes and talks about people's intelligence and all that. I'm just sitting there dumbfounded going, girl, you have got to be the only idiot in the United States of America that would go, oh, yeah, I can totally mail it to myself. No problem whatsoever. I'll just mail some big old fat buds to my own home in Florida. What the? Okay, you get my point? So these people that are being so unforgiving against Seth and Brittany J, are they themselves exactly who they are assaulting Brittany J and Seth for being? Exactly. But they have zero insight. They do not recognize it at all, which is is baffling to me. Now, one of the reasons that I think this is so important to call out is this. With Katie, and to be fair, can we be fair here? Do you feel like, and I want you guys to be honest, do you guys feel like I've gone hard at Katie? Sincerely. Let me see what Nicole said. No one is lying about Seth. Tell me what lie about Seth. You're disgusting. Nicole with are those dog ears? What kind of ears you got on your head, Nicole? I can't really see. Hold on. Let me take a big old gander. Looks like, I don't know. Maybe it's a bear. Are you a bear? Are you supposed to be a bear? I don't know what you are, but you're disgusting. Nicole says, no one is lying about Seth. Tell me what lie about Seth. You're disgusting. Tell me you're a little over-emotional without telling me you're over-emotional. Hey, Nicole, simmer down, girl. Just simmer down. You're going to need to take a Xanny or something if you don't calm yourself down. Toots. Okay. Chris and Katie have never spoke badly. Okay, look, Nicole, I'm trying to make a joke out of this, but I got to tell you something, girl. I'm having a little trouble with your grammar. Okay, so I'm gonna edit it for you so that at least I can participate in this conversation. Chris and Katie have never spoken badly about Seth. You're disgusting. Okay. YOU_RE, Nicole. That's short. That's a contraction for you are disgusting. YOUR means my possession. I don't own anything disgusting. That's the privilege of Katie. She's the one who gets to own something disgusting, not me. Let's see what else Nicole said as she melts down into a glass cage of emotion. I don't see her. Is that the only two things she said? Damn, she was sure upset for just 2 comments. Thought she would have said more. Let's see. No one is lying about Seth. Yes, you are. Come on, Nicole. You know you guys are lying. Nicole, I beg your pardon. Thank you, Reality Wins, for being the adult in the room. The irony, Gigi, the irony. Wow, Nicole hasn't seen many interviews. No, she hasn't. She's a woman of few words, too, because it looks like she only made the nanny needs a Zanny. I think Nicole needs a Zanny. Nicole, I have something for you to help you calm down a bit. Damn, Nicole, you came in here and turned everybody upside down. What's that about? Are you really mommy boom boom? Okay, guys, got to ask the question. If you believe that Nicole is actually mama boom boom, put a 1. If you think that Nicole is actually Christopher Proudfoot, put a 2. Let's see where we stand on this. The Proudfeet hired SF. Oh shit. Number 3, option number 3. Who thinks Nicole is actually Stephen Fisher? Let's see where we got 1 vote for you, Christopher. Yeah, she should ask Jay to send her something in the mail. Oh, we got 2 for Christopher, 3 for Christopher. Thank you, Georgia girl. Christopher's going to appreciate that. Oh, look at there, SF. You got a vote. Oh, you got 2 votes, SF. 3 votes, 4. Everybody thinks it's Stephen Fisher. I'm loving it. That is so cute. In my opinion, has never said anything bad about Seth. Just a permanent silence job. If that not bad, then God help us. That's, man, SF, your reputation is horrible, buddy. Everybody thinks that you're the one that did it. Oh my God. All 4. They're I love wait, what? All 4. They're having a little dinner party together and they started listening to our live and now they're all upset. They're all mad about, can you believe that, Jules? She's a bad person. Jules is disgusting. She's disgusting. Calm down, Nicole. Take a deep breath in through your nose, Nicole. Hold it and count to 3. And now a long, slow exhale from your mouth. Okay, I'm tired of being a smart aleck. Apologize, y'all. Fighting over who's commenting next, right, Supanan? Okay. Yes, someone get Nicole some damn tissues for her tears, please. Thank you. All right. Let's get back to the dirty half dozen, shall we?
Trust me, it's every day is a struggle. You wake up.
Yeah.
And until these folks have to endure something to this magnitude, they will never truly understand. Never.
Well, Christopher, do you remember way back in the day when you said that you felt so sorry for Riley Strain's parents because you just could not imagine what they were going through, even though your wife was going through it, like exactly at the same time? At this point, Christopher Proudfoot, I have to ask this question. Do you know what all of these people in the true crime community, what they've been through? I mean, have you stopped to just for 1 second get your head out of this arrogant me space and stop and ask yourself, why do these people in the true crime community, why do they care? Like, why do they care when a kid goes missing? Why do they care when a woman is murdered by her abusive husband? Why do they care? You haven't asked yourself that, not a single moment, because all you can think about is yourself. That's all, that you're consumed with what Christopher wants. The reality is that you don't have the moral ground to stand and question all of these people that are in this YouTube community, because just about every single one of us has been the victim of a crime or a terrible trauma. Every one of us has faced some kind of terrible loss that was unprovoked, that were victimized. There is a reason that people travel 4 or 5 states to go do a search through the mountains of Colorado looking for Suzanne Morphew, as her own jackass husband is just riding around in his big old black truck, Christopher. You know, it seems to me you and old Barry, you guys have an awful lot in common. So before you jump up on your little virtue signaling high horse, you may want to stop a minute, because all these people that listen to you in your anger, listen to the way that you speak about Sebastian, watch the way that you treat your own wife or other women on these panels, they recognize a pattern of behavior, a personality style that is very often connected to interpersonal violence. That right there may be the exact reason why so many have turned against you, Christopher Proudfoot. And they have not turned against Seth Rogers, because Seth didn't order people around and threaten them within the inch of their lives and try to control who was going to be allowed to speak about what. Because we saw a man who was simply trying to go about his business, make a living, to spend a couple of days a week with his son, and you were calling him names. You were talking to him like he was no one. And I myself would have applauded if he would have punched you in the nose. So before you get up on your high horse and start, well, who are these people? Until they have to wake up one morning and experience what loss is to have a child or a wife or a husband murdered, you might want to check it right there, because most of us have. That's why we're here. That's why we bond together. Am I wrong about that, you guys? If you think I'm right about that, put a 1. About shared trauma, that we've all experienced some terrible crime or some terrible traumatic loss, put a 1. Or if you're just in the true crime community because you think it's fun to read about death, gloom, and doom, put a 2. You think it's just fun to talk about missing kids. That's why you're here, because it's just a good old whooping good time, put a 2. It's absurd that you would even say that. You know what it is, Christopher Proudfoot? It's arrogance, that you believe that you can make judgment on all of us without knowing any damn thing about us. Oh, until you have to wake up in the morning and know what it feels like to have your husband murdered. Some of us know. And some of us know what it's like to have a child murdered. Some of us know what it's like to have a husband beat the hell out of you, Christopher Proudfoot. So check that privilege you got going on, your man card. Check it at the door, because you're preaching to the wrong choir here. We know. We're in it. It's one of the reasons why I will never stop going after Barry Morphew, because Suzanne Morphew did not deserve to live the life that she had to live with that man.
No.
You know, I mean, if they were doxxed, although I don't understand doxing, but where they put out all their information.
You were doxxed. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
were absolutely
Myself, Katie, my family's been doxxed. But if they start doxing these folks and blasting their information, and no, I'm not by any means am I saying do this. I'm not
No.
I'm not about this. But if it happened to them and then it starts causing more problems and chaos, and you get to the point where going in public is sketchy at best,
Yeah.
because you're going to.
Let me explain to you what sketchy is, Mr. Proudfoot. You're crying because people are talking about you on the internet and it makes you uncomfortable to go out in public, correct? You're mad because you're feeling uncomfortable that people know that you're an abusive asshole who backhands little 4-year-old little boys, right? Oh, he's got to learn how to man up. That's just the kind of asshole you are. You're uncomfortable because your secrets are out now, thanks to Nina and maybe one of your other ex-wives. But here's what you don't understand. When there are women who escape marriages with people like you, they're also uncomfortable in public. They're looking over their shoulder because they're expecting aggressive, violent assholes like you to be coming for them, simply because they got away and they got their safety and they got their peace. I suspect Katie settles in very quietly, shuts her mouth, doesn't say anything. Seems to have a reason.
You're going to have people staring at you. You're going to have people that won't even be near you. I mean, and it's sad because it's like, you know the truth. You know there's things that you know that can't be said, and you just wait and you wait and you wait, and eventually, one of two things is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get an answer, and we're going to move forward. Or two, we're going to be right in that same pool with Summer Wells and the rest of the families that years go by and we have no answers, and we have to endure every aspect from day one. Will continue until there's an answer.
Yeah. But you know what, my thing is that, even though people might not like you, I think that's my problem is that one is a feeling and one is not fact. Like to accuse someone of being a murderer or anything without any facts and just basic pure on emotions is like a horrible thing. And I that's the thing I really disagree with a lot of these channels with. It's like they've got clouded because they don't like you and they want to make you a villain to justify their disdain for you. And
that's not true, B. Tim. There's no justifying disdain. That is not what it's about. It is, there are some very specific facts that you really can't change. One of those facts is Sebastian went missing from the house he lives in with his mom. That's where the person that last saw Sebastian was his mother. Another fact, there are 30 or 40 cameras, some of them with street lights nearby, and not a single camera picked this kid up in the middle of the night. There is specifically a car on a security camera. Yes, it's somewhere between 3 and 3:30 a.m. It's already been proven. SF is full of shit. He's a fixer. He's misleading you. The reality is they know what time. The owner of the house has already said what time. There was 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. Trash truck. And a couple of hours before that is the car and the flashlights. This is not rocket science, you guys. It doesn't take a genius to figure out when the car was there. The car is there. It is on camera. And a judge signed off for a geofencing warrant for that time frame. And Christopher Proudfoot's truck was caught in that geoframe. He said it. The cops didn't say it. Christopher Proudfoot said it. Then he tried to walk it back. That was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 26th. No, that is impossible, Christopher Proudfoot. The cops would not be collecting a geofencing pattern at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because the neighborhood is full of people and police officers, people searching. There would be literally dozens of unknown phones and internet connections happening. That's not how the geofencing warrants work, Christopher Proudfoot. A judge had to sign off on it, and the way the law reads, you have to name a time and you have to name a location, and you've got to be able to prove to that judge why you are looking at that location at that time. You've got to have some kind of evidence. And they do. They have a security camera, Christopher Proudfoot. There's the only hope of managing that particular piece of evidence is to get it thrown out and not put into the trial. But there's no reason to throw it out. The judge did what they had. They had a video camera of a car and flashlights, and the judge says, this looks like evidence to me. You got your warrant. You can look for a 30-minute time frame. So, B. Tim, People are not just randomly walking around and disliking Christopher Proudfoot. There are some very disturbing facts, some very disturbing realities concerning Christopher Proudfoot, that things look really dark and scary for Sebastian. People didn't just say, hey, I think I'm going to dislike Christopher Proudfoot. That is not the way that it works. It's a real shame that, and while I'm on that topic, I can say this again. The first one who talks and tells the truth to law enforcement, they're going to get the one who has a chance of getting out of prison someday. Just saying.
It's horrible. And I
But
don't
they don't even know you. So how can they make a decision on whether they actually like you or not? They know the little bit that you have shown. And I'm sorry, I don't know anybody that's going to put their best face forward when they are when they're facing the tragedy that you and your wife and his father are facing.
Okay, but then Ange, I totally agree with you. The problem is your friends, the Proudfoot fan club, they have gone after Seth Rogers in a way that is frankly unforgivable. No, I've never gone after Katie like that. Never. I've said I'm pretty uncomfortable. I think that there's some very curious things. Now, I know damn well why I go after Christopher Proudfoot, probably because I was told not to use Sebastian's name or else. But in terms of the two parents, Katie and Seth, why are you guys calling Seth a pedophile? Why does that have anything to do with Sebastian being gone right now? Your friends are the very worst about this. And yet you have drugged Brittany J. and Seth through the proverbial mud, unforgivingly. Hell, Sebastian did not go missing from Seth's house. It was not Seth that wanted to send a kid who's on the spectrum, possibly level 2. You're going to send him to a boot camp? Are you crazy? Christopher Proudfoot is so caught up in control and compliance. His behavior towards kids appears to be sadistic, according to what Nina said, according to what he said himself on interviews. It wasn't Seth who was hitting Sebastian with a belt or gonna send Sebastian off to a boot camp. It wasn't Seth doing that. He's trying to get Sebastian into an online class administered by the school system. He's trying to get Sebastian into a protected environment where everyone will be better off. These other two jokers just want to send him to the place they can get him in fastest and cheapest. A place like that would end up killing a kid like Sebastian. So you guys can buddy up with Christopher and giggle and talk about what a good guy he is and joke about how you're going to be wife number 6. You can do all these sad, pathetic little games that you want to, but there are some realities. Seth was at work on a camera. He did not take that kid. And then you say, oh, but he knows criminals. He could have hired one of those criminals. Okay, by your own admission, with what money? You want Seth in your little fantasy. You want Seth, a man who's weeping on camera as he talks about his missing son. You want to believe that this man hired some criminal that he knew from the jail, paid him money to kidnap his boy? Really? With what money? I don't think you guys can think clearly. I don't think you're logical. I don't think you remember the facts. I don't think you consider logic at all. I think everything that you say and do is being driven by emotions. And right now, you've got Chris on your panel, and that means that you're going to get a ton of views and you like it. You want to make him happy so he will come back again. Isn't that right, Queen Bee? You guys sucked up to this man. You gave him a platform so that he could manipulate and gaslight people. Seth didn't do those things. Seth didn't want to talk to anybody. That's why he came up with Tony Mathis. So you're completely wrong that people just arbitrarily decided to hate on poor old Christopher. No, there are some real facts. And part of those facts are, Christopher Proudfoot, that you tried to use the legal system, a corrupt system, to steal an infant from her mother. People don't like that, Christopher, especially women. And yet you did it. And Katie helped you. What about after the judge said, you know what, give this woman back her baby. Let's stop this farce. I'm finished with this. Your sister, the one who was so cruel to Sebastian on his birthday, Christopher Proudfoot, your sister said of Nina, just put it in reverse and run over her. So you've got Queen Bee, B. Tim, Cheesy Wheezy, Cluminati, and Black Sheep Design. They're all fine with that. They don't have a problem with that. They're okay if Melissa says, just put it in reverse and run over Nina. They think that's fine. But they think that Seth is horrible? Oh, I wanted to ask a question to the chat. Hold on. What are they doing over at Cluminati's? Crabtree, Clue, and Cletus know the truth and they want the reward. Oh, exactly, Enoch. Yeah, that was so ridiculous, wasn't it? He's a ridiculous guy. We are survivors of our own stories. Exactly, Women's Warrior. So what did y'all say they were doing over there at Cluminati's channel? Somebody said what they were doing on Cluminati's channel was disgusting, but I don't see who said that. Hey, in the shape of a heart. Welcome. It's good to have you. Okay. Well, I don't see anybody telling me, so. Thank you, JG. I left out a little information. The baby that he's trying to steal from the mother was actually a baby that he demanded that his wife get an abortion. It wasn't his girlfriend. It wasn't some one night stand. It was his legitimate wife. And he's trying to get her to have an abortion. And she says, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to do that. She has her baby. She is nursing this baby. And this son of a bitch goes and gets an attorney to take the infant away because Mama Boom Boom wanted the little girl. Did any of you stop, Proudfoot? Did any of you stop to think this baby is breastfeeding? If we rip this child away from the mother's breast, this could have a lifelong impact on this child. Did any of you gentle giants think of that? It's your behavior, Christopher Proudfoot, B. Tim, Queen Bee. You got it is Christopher Proudfoot's own behavior that has caused 80% of people to make this judgment people feel really uncomfortable with Christopher Proudfoot, and they feel like someone should have protected Sebastian from Christopher Proudfoot. 80% of us, Christopher, you really think we're all wrong? You have a history of violence against women and children. Your own wife can't speak. You jump right on top of her words, and she sits back like a little mouse. So stop making up reasons why people don't like you, Christopher Proudfoot. We are the 80% of us. We are simply watching you, listening to you on these YouTube panels, these interviews, listening to stories from Nina or Katie. We're listening. We're learning. It's you that has created this, Christopher Proudfoot. There's nothing wrong with us.
This goes back to the old saying, the first impression is a lasting impression. And although that is may be true, I did not necessarily make the best impression to some people. And that is an impression that they're going to have of me. I'm okay to accept that. But I'm also okay to extend and say, you don't really know me.
Yeah.
So until you actually get to know me, I'm asking that you reserve your opinions about my.
Here's a problem with that, Christopher Proudfoot. You've already got months of going on these panels, screaming and cussing people left and right, telling stories of abuse where you are abusive to Sebastian, giggling and laughing like somehow you're so smart because you were tormenting him. We all formed our opinions based on you and your behavior. I don't know why that's hard for you to understand. And I do happen to think that one of the reasons that Christopher Proudfoot did get so angry and so unhinged is because his manipulation was not working. Because he was trying to win us over to believe his point of view, and we were not buying it. Look, like I said before, the people in the true crime community, they're here for a reason, Christopher. They've had their own problems in their own lives. They have been victims of crime. They have lost loved ones who have been murdered or kidnapped. They have faced betrayal. When you start your gaslighting and all it does is to sound exactly like your own monster, that was the worst thing you could have done, is gone on all those shows and start bullshitting people. Everybody understands gaslighting when we hear it. We know that you're lying, Christopher, but it's your arrogance that you can't accept that people know that you're lying. You're too arrogant. You believe you're too good at it and that you'll be able to do it. But we're not Katie.
Myself, my wife, and Seth. I mean, but Seth is doing his own thing. I am not bashing.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong. Anybody asked me to start, your answer is no. And I want
I respect
the conversation.
No, I'm actually pretty fucking impressed that you have included him in everything you said.
Yeah.
And you've been so kind. So kind. All the way.
It really wasn't very kind to hit a kid that is on spectrum with a belt. That's not kind. It doesn't matter if your own mom and dad beat you with a wooden spoon. That's a straw man's argument. It doesn't matter. It wasn't kind to confuse a kid who's on the spectrum, who sounds like he may have been level 2. Wasn't kind to hit him. It's not kind to backhand a 4-year-old little boy, because it's going to be your job to teach that little boy how to be a man. How to be a man or how to be an abusive asshole, Christopher Proudfoot. That's not kind. It's not kind, Ange, for Christopher Proudfoot to go up on Trisha's panel on Web Sleuths and then call her channel call her panel members, call the people that love her show web sluts. And frankly, Ange, I'm a little surprised that you're supporting that, because it seems to me of all the stuff, one of the things that you and I absolutely have agreed on is women have to stand up for women. And for a man to call a woman a slut, whether he's trying to be cute or not, is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. Web Sleuths is probably one of the longest running true crime shows with the greatest level of respect. And this clown that you are now sucking up to literally said web sluts. And he did it when he was angry. He did it to put them down. So I would think, Ange, that you would at least be willing to admit that that son of a bitch owes somebody an apology for that comment, if nothing else.
Through with him.
I mean, to be honest with you, if I was in your position, I'd be shit talking Seth right now too, because he would piss me off, because he, but I respect you. You're a better person than me. Honestly, I think I would be very angry at Seth, and I understand your anger, but yeah, well, I think it's very good what you're doing.
I think everybody has to understand something. I didn't say I'm not upset with him. I didn't say that.
Right.
What I said is I'm not bashing him.
Yeah.
When Seth is ready to sit down and have a conversation, and that conversation would be something between me, him, and Katie, and nobody else, then that conversation, we will have to air out some indifferences.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, the likely odds of him and Katie sitting down, I don't see that possibly happening, honestly, just because she is a mom, the mother to his son. And I just don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
You don't allow her to speak to him. You've said it yourself on other channels. So you can play this little game, but you have complete and total control of Katie.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of had that impression that it was kind of you and Seth did most of the talking, I think, because it felt like to me.
You know what, Cheesy Weezy? You're a genius. I'm sorry, but I just can't. I got to state the obvious. You're a genius. You got the impression that Seth and Christopher are the only two that talk. You got that impression, or is that exactly what Seth said? And exactly what Christopher Proudfoot said. They said it, Cheesy Weezy. You didn't have to form any impressions, honey. They said it. So what do you mean? Well, I got the impression that you're the only two that talk. Are you down in the well with Timmy? I don't know. It seems odd.
Rather than him and Katie, because
what?
I could be wrong.
Yeah, you could.
But do you notice, everybody? I want everybody and the people who are listening. Do you notice how nice Chris sounds right now when people aren't attacking?
Oh, he's so sweet. Cheesy Weezy, have you ever heard of gaslighting? Have you ever heard of manipulation? Have you ever heard of lies? You might want to work on that a little bit, because you are completely misled by this guy.
Him, and he doesn't feel like he has to be on the defense. You see how nice he is? What a nice guy he is.
A nice guy.
Completely different.
He's a nice guy. He took a belt and he struck a kid who is on the spectrum for what? He has 7 CPS reports in less than 2 years. The earliest one being January, like weeks before Sebastian went missing. Tell me again how sweet he is, Cheesy Weezy. 5 CPS reports in less than 2 years. You think he's sweet? Really? Why? Because he's on a panel with you and he hasn't told you to F off? Or he hasn't punched Katie in the face while he's on the panel? Is that why you think he's sweet? What's wrong with you people? It doesn't matter if he's being nice to you. It doesn't matter if he comes up on your panel. He's pretending.
Was that if you, that was kind of my point when, I mean, these families are in the worst moment of their life. They're in turmoil, they're in peril. How do you expect that you're going to be able to see their best side? And then they're being attacked. Like every person in the audience has a torch and a pitchfork, and they're, kill the beast, kill the beast. And you haven't even heard what the beast has to say.
Somebody's got feedback. Somebody didn't pause their YouTube. Chris, did you pause YouTube when you came up?
I'm on internet. I don't think I'm on YouTube.
Okay, I just didn't know because sometimes it'll cause like the
bar. Okay. When it comes to and so I kind of thought about this before. Like Dolly flew a drone over my house.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well,
in my opinion. I mean,
I'm glad it happened when I wasn't home. I probably would have been extremely irate with him.
Right.
And here's the other part. Okay, I'm glad it happened when I wasn't home because I would have been extremely irate with him. Okay, Christopher, why is it that every time you speak, you have to threaten people? Like, why do you have to do that? Why don't you just say, well, I really wish he wouldn't be flying over my house. I think it's weird. Me and Katie live a super boring life. There's nothing to look at, but okay. Why do you have to? You better put that back in the box. You tell her I'm coming for her. Why do you talk like that? Is that really like the way you live your life? You just kind of go around just beating the shit out of people? Like whenever they do something that you disapprove of, you just slap them or punch them in the head or kick them in the stomach. Like, is that really how you live your life? So that when you walk anywhere that people know you, they see you coming and they run away, and you like it that way, right? Makes you feel like a Billy Badass. I mean, how tall are you? What, like 5'1" or some kind of crap like that? Is that the whole point? You try to use anger and aggression to try to make yourself feel like a big man. That truck out there is not making you a big man. It's just making people make jokes about the size of your feet. Why talk to people that way? Why treat people that way? You don't have to go around threatening for what? Bodily harm?
But I'm okay. If Dolly, I'm not going to sit here and do the YouTube thing, tit-tat back and forth with these guys.
Why?
I don't need
why?
to record conversations with people. I don't need to find a way to blackmail or use something or twist words. I don't have to. But I'm perfectly okay to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with somebody and hear their side of how they feel and what they think, as to the respect if you're going to be willing to do the same for me.
Okay, how about this, Christopher Proudfoot? How about just, hey, Dolly, thank you for keeping Sebastian's name out there. Thank you for walking through the woods. Thank you for flying the drone around to see what you see. Thank you for having interest in Katie and Seth's son. Thank you. Did it cross your mind to do that? No, I don't want anybody flying a drone over my house. I don't want anybody looking at my backyard. It's not your backyard. You keep your stupid eyes, keep your retinas off of my backyard. That's my grass. That tree's my tree. It's my grass. Don't look at the roof on I paid for the shingles on that house. Don't you look at my house, Dolly. Shut up, Christopher Proudfoot. You sound like that. Why do you care if he flies a drone over your house? What super secret thing are you doing at your house? Nobody cares, Christopher Proudfoot. Nobody. Oh my God.
If you can't, then I have no desire to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
well, personally, I think Dolly's just doing it for money. That's his whole thing.
It's just doing it for money. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, who's Queen Bee got up on her panel? Who's going to stay there for 2.5, 3 hours? Who beat him? You're such good buddies with Cluminati, who is on every single night for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours talking about nothing but Seth Rogers and Brittany J. That's it. So tell me again, who's the grifter, B. Tim?
He doesn't, you know, I mean, I honestly think he just does it for money, and it's just like it's the lowest garbage thing to do to people, and he's just.
Oh, no. To fly a drone over someone's house is actually not the lowest thing that you could do to them, B. Tim. We could do an experiment. Why don't we let Christopher Proudfoot take his belt off and beat you on your butt? Should we try that and see which you would prefer? Would you prefer to have a belt on your bottom or a drone flying over your house harmlessly? Which one is the worst? So dumb.
That's why we call him a tragedy pimp, and that's why he's doing it. I don't think you're going to get an honest conversation from that guy. You know, you might as well talk to a chair or a piece of wood. You might get an answer from that before you do with that guy.
I don't like giving up on people right away. I don't. I had great parents growing up. I am from a split household, so I've had the pleasures and the privileges of having multiple parents and multiple
sisters,
families.
huh? Sisters that died.
And a lot of people don't understand that, but if you are from a split home, you'll understand it.
Yep.
But I don't necessarily like giving up on people right away. I give them a chance. You got to give them a chance because what they may have done in the past may not necessarily depict who they truly are in the
You're
future.
being manipulated.
You know,
gaslighting.
Some people may have bad days. You know.
Nice people don't get 5 CPS investigations within 2 years. That's not what happens to nice people.
Yeah. Especially with everything, all of the rumor, the gossip, the innuendo, and the twisting and turning that's happened as a direct result to your son's case. And I commend you for having that attitude, Chris, because that's very.
Yeah, I mean,
they had the camera in the field over there in the easement, and Nancy Drew was the lady driving by and blowing the horn and all this. If it makes them happy, it makes them feel like they're getting somewhere. Sure, go on ahead. At the end of the day, what they have to deal with is eventually they're going to get a noise ordinance complaint from somebody.
Question. You're sitting there telling this group of people that, if it makes them happy to drive by your house, blowing the horn or flying the drone over your house, if it makes them happy, then you're okay with that, right? That's what you're telling these people. You're working really hard to sound like a rational, logical, calm person. Okay. So why did you spend $7,000 to file complaints against Bullhorn Betty? She doesn't even live in your state. And she's like 100 pounds. How's she going to hurt you or your big wife? I don't understand. Why are you presenting yourself as a logical, rational person on this panel, but your actions are actually, you're unhinged? Because he's gaslighting you guys.
You mentioned constantly video streaming me, stalking me. I'm going to tell you now, that's very boring. Very, very boring because there's
Exactly.
not much to watch.
Exactly.
You see my truck, you see my trailer. I go to work, I come back, go to my trailer. Ooh, exciting life. Look out, everyone.
And that's exactly what I said when a bunch of weirdos online decided to follow me. Okay, I'm pretty damn boring, but if that's what you want to do with your time, oh well. And eventually they went, wow, she actually leads a really boring life. So explain again why you would want to take your hard-earned money to throw Bullhorn Betty in jail? Because you were scared of her, Christopher? You were so frightened of this little 100-pound woman? So ridiculous.
One.
Right. And you do it the opposite schedule as everybody else.
And it's okay.
Oh.
I
Sometimes
mean,
you clean your truck too. I mean, that might be.
Oh, shut up, B-Tim. I can't tolerate that dude.
Some privacy.
Blah, blah.
Even being investigated, there's nothing to it, and these people are not cops or anything. And what
You don't know who they are, what experience.
and these people are just really, they're wasting their efforts. They could be going out there helping organize search.
I really have
it is a 15-year-old autistic child that we are all looking for. He's our son. He is, for Sumner County, he's almost like a Sumner County child of the whole county. Everybody is gone to love him and want to know him and more interested. I mean, it's a deep thing. I just don't want to see it turn into a completely cold case, or like where some of these people go out here when they start talking about a new case and then they go, yeah, well, that's kind of like the Sebastian Rogers and the Summer Wells and the rest of these cases. You know,
they're gonna make an arrest.
So that's your
Proudfoot, I promise you that.
That's
yeah.
And and basically, it sounds like you're kind of you're willing to sacrifice your privacy and all these things just to keep this case going, so people can talk about it, so it keeps it to the forefront.
I'll tell everybody this: you want to come after me, you come after me.
Okay.
You leave everybody else alone.
All right.
Oh, you come after me.
You leave everybody else alone. Don't you mess with Mama Boom Boom. Is that what you're gonna say, Christopher? You just couldn't get by 5 minutes without threatening someone with bodily harm. It's such a sad little life you have.
Everybody else alone. That's the only request that I have. If you need somebody to berate, belittle, blast, whatever, I'll be your man. Throw your darts, whatever you want to do.
Because that's the kind of guy you are, right?
Because at the end of the day, I know the truth. Law enforcement knows the truth. Katie and Seth know the truth.
It's just too bad that Seth didn't know the truth about the CPS reports. You know what I mean, Christopher Proudfoot? It's really a shame Seth somehow wasn't being notified, because someone told CPS that Bio Dad was not in the picture. Wonder who said that. It's a real shame Seth didn't know what you guys were doing to Sebastian. I believe Seth's words were, Sebastian needed a restraining order against the two psychopaths he was living with. So keep yucking it up, Christopher.
And I really don't owe anybody anything other than my wife, my kids, and my family, and the good man upstairs. That's the only people I owe anything to.
Exactly.
It's not right that during your darkest hour you're thrust into the public spotlight.
I don't think Christopher's
it's not right. It's not fair.
Not
it's not just. There's no part of it that says that it's okay to do.
One of your comments, somebody asked about contacting truck stops. Yes, we have reached out to the Loves, the Pilots, the Flying J's, the Petros, American Travel, trucking companies, Truckers Against Trafficking, to try to get them to put flyers out and continuously keep an eye open. And a lot of them have done it. A lot of them are amazing to help.
truckers can display it on the back of their trucks. They make a little square magnet that can go on that has, it's like the missing flyer, and it can be printed on a magnetic, and it can go right on the back of the truck, and we can get them to truck stops.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. I don't know who would make or where to go and get a quote for the cost of that.
He's thinking about money.
Look on
That
Amazon,
sounds like
and
a
then
good
they run
idea,
through
but
like
he
me.
don't want to spend a lot
that'd
of
be
money
awesome.
on it.
I mean, whatever we can do, let me know and try to get on it. I mean, honestly, I really would love to find a way to, with the help of everybody, to try to form an event. And it wouldn't necessarily be strictly Sebastian.
Okay, right here.
It's got to
tell me you're guilty without telling me you're guilty. He just screamed to the world, I am culpable. Now, what I mean by that is this. Here's this missing kid that so many people are looking for, right? Everybody's deeply concerned about Sebastian. He's the stepfather. He's directly related to this family. And he says, we need to come up with something big. We don't need to waste our time just looking just for Sebastian. No, I want to come up with something big, really big, not just for Sebastian, but for all missing kids. Number one, that pattern of thought, that kind of idea, that is coming from narcissists. You're in the process of having an actual child of yours living in your home. The child has gone missing. You don't know where the child is. Your wife is deep in grief, and you start saying, oh, we're going to look for all missing kids, not just Sebastian. You're full of shit. You are trying to come up with an idea to make people, as part of manipulation, to make people say, oh man, that Christopher Proudfoot, he's a great guy. He's a good guy. He's not even being selfish about his own kid going missing, Sebastian going missing. He even while he's so hurt about Sebastian, he wants to help all kids. You don't even know how you reveal yourself, Proudfoot. Obscene.
be all these missing children and pull it together and try to get everybody to be bringing awareness, finding a way to fundraise, crowd surf money.
You know what, dumbass? What do you think is happening on YouTube? Why do you think all these people are on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube, and they're putting out flyers and they're saying, look at this missing child, look at that missing child. Ange is a child advocate. What do you think we're all doing? What the hell? All you're doing is just pie in the sky, just chit chat talking, trying to get some brownie points for yourself. You're just gaslighting. You're just manipulating everyone. You don't mean what you're saying.
Ever to
Amen.
Single state across the country with billboard children that have been missing. You know, provide a number, or the National Center is fresh. Because I mean,
that's the classic behavior.
I honestly don't know what the young lady looked like.
Blue narcissist.
I don't, and I'm being honest. I know of her case because I remember it was a few days before, a few days after Sebastian. TBI had just released a sketch that projected what she would have looked like at 8 years old.
You knew all about Summer Wells. Don't lie.
I think Chris is probably comfortable anywhere that people aren't just raging at him.
Well, yeah, as I said, but I mean, you guys have been pretty, you and your husband have been pretty fucking fair, and I appreciate that because not very many people are, as you see.
Yeah.
We just want to treat people like we would want to be treated. And I mean, in fairness, we were, we were just as damn guilty as everybody else in the beginning, right? And once we realized the error in our ways, we're just about being fair. You can
Well,
always
you're not being fair to Seth. I mean, I commend you for being honest about the behavior that you and Cluminati had at the beginning of Sebastian going missing. I appreciate that, but you're not extending that same logic to Seth. You're tearing him down every day. You're sitting there night after night after night with Cluminati. You're letting her tear him down, calling him a pedophile and other terrible things. Why? The boy didn't go missing from Seth's house. Seth is on camera at work. He doesn't have money to pay a criminal. It's laughable that you guys would believe that Seth had anything to do with this. Seth's the only one out of this kid's family that is literally shown that he cares at all that this kid is missing. No one else gives a damn. Mama Boom Boom and her abusive husband, did they worry about going off to Alaska? No. Did Katie and Chris worry at all? Wonder, oh, I can't go with you to Mississippi because what if Sebastian comes home and there's no one here to greet him? That would be horrible. They didn't give a damn about that, Cletus. Is that the way you would do your kids? If you had a kid that ran away or went missing, 3 weeks later, you'd say, hey, come on, let's go on vacation, Clue. It'll be okay. If our child comes home from having been abducted and we're not here, that's okay. They can just stay in the hospital until we get back home. Is that, I have no doubt that you would not do that, Cletus. No doubt. So how can you be so forgiving of this asshole? And you guys are not extending that same rational courtesy to Seth or to Brittany J.
the right thing. It's never too late to do the right
Well,
thing.
you know what? You know,
A lot of these creators of their pages would stop and just go back to what made them want to do this. What made them want to create their page? There had to be a passion. There had to be something that said, you know what, I'm gonna start a page to want to help or to do something. And being realistic and honest is the only thing that you should do. Like if it was for money, okay, cool. So you do it for money, but can you do it for money in a positive way where you don't have to drive wedges in narratives that are completely oblivious to the situation just to make a click or a dollar? I don't know how to.
You don't know what you're talking about, Proudfoot. You're more worried about one of these creators making money than you are about they may actually be the key to finding Sebastian.
You know, you guys really borderline that slander defamation area. You know, it's kind of like, but why? Why even play with it? I don't know.
The back's the link just in case, so you want to look at it.
Oh no, I don't. So Dolly's one of his moderators reached out to me not too long ago. I think his name was Jax. Reached out to Katie as well, and he asked if we wanted to come on Dolly's show. I was very polite. I gave him an answer. He did post it on his show, from what I was told. Somebody screenshot it to me, and I basically informed him that, you know, do not contact me or my wife again. You or Jimmy Williams, aka Dolly Vision. Like, it's simple. Like, if you want to know my information, I can find your information just as quick and easy. But the only difference between you and I is I don't need to make $1 from you. I don't need to make $1 or a penny.
So bizarre that this man is so focused on money when they're talking about a missing kid who's on the spectrum.
No, we don't have any of those. Sorry. I mean, that just...
I understand that.
And let's not forget, when you order soap, you get a free missing child sticker too.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with you got to be careful when you buy that kind of stuff.
Bro.
That's fucking gross, man. That's fucking nasty.
Well, it's okay because he says he did Katie come clean as a joke, and if anybody's offended, they need to develop.
That was horrible.
And he's
that was
donating 10% of the
disgusting.
proceeds
It was
to some charity.
absolutely
And I was like, fucking really? That's how you're going to just?
Going to donate 10% and then use that to write off on his taxes. So that's brilliant.
I'm going to make a lotion called Dickless Dolly.
Oh, that was charming, Clue.
With a box of Kleenex too.
Cry rags.
No, a sock, a tube sock.
Yeah, you get a crusty, rusty, dusty old tube sock.
Oh god.
Yeah, they get real
for their
filthy
husband,
here.
you know. I commend you for it.
I try. I said I ain't necessarily the gentlest person in a China shop, but
Right.
I try to be.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Oh,
I
when
totally
he
from
starts
one bull to
laughing,
another.
ugh,
I
just
get you.
cringe.
I
You
get
can
you,
tell
Chris.
it's not sincere.
I think that bothers me the most when people like assume that Katie just won't speak or won't talk. Like that's not true. And I think the saddest part is that Chris and Katie are very, in my opinion, and I will speak for fiance when I say this too, very good people. Like, and
You
it's
don't.
really sad
You know
that
what?
even
Okay,
when they
so
do come out
Clue,
and
you claim you don't know them except for Sebastian going missing, right? That's what they claim. So if that's true, I think you do know them. I feel like you guys do know one another from the community. I feel like there's some family connection. But if we go by what you're saying, that you don't know each other other than Sebastian, the question that I have is what are you basing that on? Both Katie and Chris are very good people. Where does that come from? Like, what is your yardstick? What is the evidence that you use for you to come up with a claim like that? Because the reality is 5 CPS cases against Sebastian, less than 2 years' time. And the soonest one was January, literal weeks before Sebastian went missing. How do you guys overlook that? Now, you do say, I know that you say, oh, well, we don't even know if the CPS cases are true. Okay, can we stop a minute and think our way through this? Let's problem solve through this. Do you believe Seth, who is a person of interest, Christopher and Katie are persons of interest, you believe that Seth, knowing full well he's a person of interest, do you think that he is going to put out public information that he hired an attorney, he got the CPS records legally, that he's not allowed to release them? Do you think he would really lie about that, knowing the cops are watching everything he's doing? Remember, we're just being logical. We're not going to court. We're not having to bring evidence. We're using logic. Of course, he would not lie, because the cops are going to come to his house and go, Seth, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you running around telling people that there are CPS investigations? There's no CPS investigations. Are you crazy? They wouldn't allow that. It would be slander. So the very fact that it keeps being repeated by Tony Mathis over and over and over, and the cops have not responded, there's your proof. Now that you recognize, okay, well, it's probably more likely than not true. Otherwise, cops would have stepped in. Now I'm going to ask the original question. Do you think that it's normal that kind men get 5 CPS investigations in 2 years? Do you think that's normal? You think that's the action of a nice father? Or what do you think about January? There's a CPS investigation opened. It remains open today. And it was literally only 5 weeks before Sebastian went missing. You don't think that that is an inconvenient reality? You completely disregard the involvement of CPS so that you can say on Queen Bee's channel, Katie and Christopher Proudfoot are very good people. How you don't know that? Why are you driven to say that? Why are you driven to be all in? I've got some serious misgivings about Christopher Proudfoot and Katie, and I've been vocal about them, but I'm not running around telling everybody Seth is innocent, Seth is innocent, Seth is innocent. I don't know anything about Seth. But I know that it wasn't his house that Sebastian went missing. He wasn't the one trying to put the kid in a boot camp. So it's weird, Clue and Cletus. It's weird that you guys are so into Christopher Proudfoot that you're literally trying to convince people what a nice, good guy he is. Do you realize, Clue, that there's going to be a trial and those CPS investigations are going to be all over the front page? Are you still going to be standing up saying what a nice guy Christopher Proudfoot is?
They're not yelling. You know what I mean? They're not being confrontational because someone's coming at them. Even when they just have a normal conversation, it gets twisted up. And it's like, how? How does that even, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. I can't stand it. But
well, I mean, that's easy. I mean, people twist and turn every little comment, every little word.
Mhm.
There's a pause. Look, there was a pause.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that hand twisted. I understand people are trying to find an answer. Truly, I got it. I understand that. But
I want an answer more than all of you combined, I promise.
Uh-oh,
bet.
Katie, speak.
it just, I don't know. It's one of those things people will never understand unless they're in the situation. And I don't ever recommend people or wish this on anybody either. I don't.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even wish this on Seth.
You wouldn't even wish it on Seth? But isn't it happening to Seth, Katie? What a bizarre thing to say. What do you guys think of that? I wouldn't even wish it on Seth. What do you think about that? Very, very, I had never heard that before. Super strange comment. Wow. I wouldn't even blame it on Seth or wish it on Seth, but it's happening to Seth. That is very strange, Katie. Is that what this is about? Did you want to hurt Seth? Because mission accomplished.
As a parent, I can't imagine what you guys are going through, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Replay it. Okay, hold on.
Well, hopefully this lets.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, as a parent, I can't imagine what you guys are going through, and I'm so sorry.
Go far enough back. Sorry.
People never.
Yes.
I bet.
There's a pause. Look, there was a pause.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that hand twisted. I understand people are trying to find an answer. True, I got it. I understand that. But
I want an answer more than all of you combined, I promise.
I bet.
it just, I don't know. It's one of those things people will never understand unless they're in the situation. And I don't ever recommend people or wish this on anybody either. I don't.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even wish this on Seth.
Dear, she
On
said
anybody
it.
either. I don't.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even wish this on Seth.
Wouldn't even wish this on
anybody
Seth.
either. I don't.
I wouldn't even wish this on Seth.
Wow. Have y'all heard that before? Man. Dark triad of narcissism, sadism, and psychopathy. Allegedly, these individuals prey on children, elderly animals, and the disabled. They take pleasure in others' pain. Absolutely, Carol. In one interview, she said, I would not wish this on my worst enemy. So add those together. I mean, yeah, she does play meek, but that's pretty nasty comment to make, isn't it, Georgia girl? To say I wouldn't even wish it on Seth, but excuse me, Katie, isn't it happening to Seth? And Seth has been the only one in this extended family that has acted like he gives a damn that this kid is missing. So what exactly are you freaked out about, Katie? That was a very telling statement. Yuck.
Yeah, as a parent, I can't imagine what you guys are going through, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully this lets more people know that what they think of you is wrong. That you're not this overbearing person. You're a terrible person.
You are
all this stuff, and they
you are so hard to take, buddy.
Conceived emotions and think that
I can't listen to him. I'm sorry, y'all.
Say,
I just can't.
Good people.
No.
Well, I mean, one of the things I kind of, so I guess what's her name, Bullhorn Betty? I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
we currently have there's a litigation between Across Motion. She's suing us, and Queen's got a countersuit against her. Let's just say that much.
Okay, so I will be careful in what I am saying. However, I think to me it's very interesting how her dynamics, how like her little spin on things, and kind of like her and JLR were a group at one point. I guess they split apart, but
yeah,
her notoriety.
Now I want you guys to imagine for a minute. He and Katie are so tore up about Sebastian going missing, right? But he has taken time to learn about the love life of Bullhorn Betty. Does that, if you think that that is a little bit bizarre, put a 1 in chat. If you think that would make perfectly good sense, that if your child was missing, you'd want to know all about people's sex lives, put a 2. Crazy. So odd. Sebastian also disappeared on the date that the Proudfoot, the divorce or the separation was finalized, exactly 8 years. Yeah, Thomas Tier. So weird. So bizarre. Yeah, and they're asking for cash. They're asking for money when they just sat there and went on and on and on about how everybody else, that they're all grifters and they're all trying to get your money. Oh, but not us. Please send money so that we can have a lawsuit. It's embarrassing.
Variety and JLR's, I think, came from the Gabby Petito case, if I remember correctly. I may be off.
Yes, that's where they
remembers the
Betty
Gabby
and JLR.
Petito
That's where
case.
YouTube met Betty and JLR.
Yep.
During Gabby Petito down at Brian Laundrie's home.
So I sit there and I wonder, like, if can she do some actual good without having to do all the things that she's.
That's what you're wondering, Christopher? You're wondering if Bullhorn Betty can do some actual good. Is that before or after you drug her ass into court? You are a manipulator. You are a gaslighter. You are a liar.
Done in the past? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing with that, Chris. She thinks she is doing good because she doesn't see that she's doing anything wrong. She's acting within her rights, her own words, and what she claims. So that's kind of the problem with that.
Gotcha. So I guess I don't know. In a way, you kind of almost, some of these creators should probably go take a few classes in law before they start doing some things.
Well, she knows.
They might be able to know what they're doing. She knows what she's doing.
Boy, he is so arrogant, isn't he? He is the biggest know-it-all. He thinks that he knows how everybody should treat their marriage. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, he's on wife number 5. He thinks that he knows everything there is to know about raising a child, but he's an abusive asshole to the kid. And now he's going to tell all of us how to be creators on YouTube. I wonder, Christopher, is there anything you can't do?
Doing in Florida.
No.
All right, so here's a funny little thing. People can look this up. It's great. Tennessee, a couple years ago, back when there was all this rioting, people stepping in front of the interstates blocking traffic. There were several
you're about to get some insight into the narcissistic asshole that is living inside of him. This man has got psychopathic tendencies. Listen to what he's about to say.
It's across the country that passed a law. If you're impeding traffic
Mm-hmm.
and you get ran over, that's on you. And Tennessee was one of those states that adopted that. And it sucks that that they don't really understand it. Like, because don't go somewhere that you don't know the laws and expect to have all the freedoms you think that you're entitled to or that you think that you get because you made a mistake and went, oops, I was dumb and didn't know something. And well,
like the Americans that just got picked up in Turks and Caicos because they crossed in there and they didn't realize that there was an old ammunition from a hunting trip 6 months ago in their bag, and now they're having to serve 12 years minimum.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll keep my responses about this BHB because on this channel I don't like her.
Our hands are really tied. We can't tell you what.
No,
we really...
no, I don't want you to because one, I don't want to. Litigation is litigation. That stays outside of. You know, my thing with Bullhorn Betty is I think she's very quick to jump to an opinion.
Yeah.
But she's never once actually, as far as I know, actually reached out to have a conversation with me. I mean, people send me clips of her, and it's been interesting. But you know, I wish her the best. I don't wish negative on people.
But you drug her into court for what? Because you were butthurt. That's why.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, well, life is strange. Life is definitely strange.
Probably a really world for you to be thrust into, huh? People from here, there, and everywhere that know anything about you.
To just from strangers, people I've never met before, and they're like, "Have you seen what's going on?" I'm like, "No, what's going on?" They're like,
"You're a liar, Christopher Proudfoot."
Right around the full moons, this place gets really freaking wild.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm not going to listen to all that about grifters because
crazier than
they're
this.
the worst grifters.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really watch that one very much.
Oh God, I don't know if I can take this.
It's where you can build. It's like a puzzle, but you build like little tracks, and it's got marbles, and they race down the tracks. It's super fun.
It's super fun. It's super
But that's been one of his latest things that he'd been playing.
My child's only been gone for 3.5 months, but it's a lot of fun. Me and old Chris, we built some tracks. It's a super fun time. I don't cry for my child. I don't worry about where my boy is, but it's super fun to play these games. Got some snacks, made some pancakes. It's so hard to take. You can listen to her voice. This is a woman who is not suffering.
He was all about making his marble runs.
That's pretty cool. I was just gonna ask what was his favorite thing to do. What was his favorite, his favorite toy, favorite game?
Well, everybody in the world knows his favorite video game.
Well,
Minecraft. But
well,
I don't know. He loves to play Mario Kart. He's got all the Mario games, Mario 8, Mario, all the Mario racing games.
I can't name the Mario games. What is that supposed to be proof of what a good mother you are? Mario 8, Mario 12. He's got them all. He does all of them. That makes you a good mom? Is it? She speaks in ways that are so unusual. Tell us stories about Sebastian. Oh, he's got all the Mario Kart video games. That's not talking about you and your son.
Remember all of them, the superstars. Every time he hears of a new Mario game coming out, he's like, I gotta have that one. And we set up with we've even got the little like wheels, the racing wheels.
Steering wheel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That you put the little switch controller in and turn it into a steering wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets serious. He'll be like, "You're going down."
That's too funny.
Well, the worst part is he gets no butt half the time in it too.
I mean, it is not funny because the boy is gone. It's not. This is a bizarre conversation happening literally just weeks after he's gone missing. There's not anything funny about this. It's inappropriate. It's bizarre and weird that you guys are even engaging in this conversation with this woman. This is very unusual.
So that's it, Mom. You're going down.
Mm-hmm.
Kicking your butt.
Well, it's like the picture with him in front of the big trophy. That was a thing that we took him to for his birthday. And we let him pick his team. And I'll be darned if they didn't win.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he was super stoked for that.
Well, it's one of those game show like experience things. So you go in and it's like you're on a game show because he loves watching game shows on the Game Show Network. He's obsessed with Family
Get
Feud.
after my own heart.
Mm-hmm. Loves Family Feud. Hell, he watches Wheel of Fortune with me. He don't never guess the puzzles. But
Why?
I don't remember the name of the other one.
Why'd you have to interject that he never gets the puzzles? Why would you do that? Why don't you just say, yeah, me and my kid like to watch this game. He don't ever get it right. He don't ever get it right. Why would you do that? Every time you have spoken, you have talked down on him.
He likes watching it. So the one with the whammies.
Press your luck.
Twist your luck.
Twist your
Yeah.
luck. He likes
Yeah.
that one too.
Big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. No
That
whammy.
used to be one of my favorites.
It says in here, no whammies.
What's his favorite color?
Green.
Green.
What was his
Green
favorite?
through and through. No questions asked.
What's his favorite subject in school?
Math.
Oh, that kind of depends. There's some days he's like math, some days PE.
Oh,
Yeah, it depends on what they're
that's a good
doing.
choice.
It depends on if he got to do what he wanted to do that day or not.
Yeah, there you go.
So you're saying he's selfish, or are you saying he's normal like every other kid?
So what about The Price is Right? Did he like watching that?
No, he didn't really watch that one very much. Family Feud is his favorite. That's his number one go-to.
Favorite food?
Oh God. Ooh.
Sushi.
Well, I was gonna say sushi, but tofu is a good contender.
No, he'll prefer sushi.
It's so bizarre. It's such a strange. I can't even listen to it. It makes me feel so bad.
2-3 hours from Chicago.
Oh gosh, so I'm the only one that's in a hated state. I'm in Florida. Yeah, y'all all in the safe states. See, nobody's talking bad about Wyoming,
There's
Illinois.
nothing
Like,
wrong
oh,
with
but Florida's like
Florida.
Florida, man, breaking now. I'm like, gosh, dog, give me a break. Hey.
I don't know. We're only 2 states north of you, so.
What was it?
Yeah.
Florida Man Strikes Again.
Oh yeah, Florida man lives on forever, definitely. How y'all doing? What's up? Don't let me slow down the conversation. I'm just listening to y'all.
We're just chit chatting, kind of, just hanging out.
Yeah, kicking the bobo, as I would say, but I guess I'm giving away my age when I talk like that. Yeah, we're just out here kicking the bobo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, these YouTube streets, I will say this. I'm gonna ask questions. So, has any of y'all personally experienced that? Because I'm new to the YouTube streets. I try to stay private, and some people get nosy. They want to know more about your real life, even though I think my this persona is probably more exciting than my real life as being a daddy and a hubby and all that. So, I mean, has any of y'all had drama in these YouTube streets, like outside, where it started in YouTube and it spilled into your real life?
Is he
Yeah, quite a bit. I guess maybe, I don't know if you probably missed a little bit of this.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm trying to catch up.
Okay, so basically we're talking to some
is he a troll?
hanging out. That's why, and they're being heckled and harassed and talk shit too, and people are following them and stalking them. And imagine that your kid goes, missing, or something goes on, then you got the fucking internet doing and saying stupid shit, making up rumors and lies, and just heckling and harassing and bugging up.
Digging
That's
into
what's going on right now. So we was just having a serious little talk. You know what I'm saying? She was reminiscing about her baby and chit chatting, just shooting the shit. That's all we was doing.
Giving them a safe place.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
honestly,
Stuff like this I take serious. I'm listening.
Yeah.
and we were learning about Sebastian because it seems to be sometimes he gets lost in all the
Chaos.
yes, and we were just giving a couple of parents an ability to share with us their little things about him.
Man, I couldn't even imagine, because I say this, I have 3 kids and I have 2 older kids, i.e. teenagers, right? So teenage son, teenage daughter, and then I have a little one who's will be 2 later this year. And so, when it comes to parenting, I understand every aspect as far as just, I don't have any adult kids, but just that dynamic of having a teenage dealing with that.
People are allowed to have different flavors. People are allowed to like different things. And if he likes it, more power to him. I support him liking something I don't like. I think that's a valuable lesson.
I think that's a very valuable lesson.
It's funny how, like, when you sit back and think about little things like that, it's a life lesson over some stupid cheese that stinks. But
What?
I just, he loves that stupid cheese. I still have it in the fridge.
Well, favorite cereal?
Different every time we buy a box.
Anything with sugar.
Well, he was
Right.
he was on Lucky Charms pretty hard for a while.
No, he was on the Reese's Pieces.
Well, that was the next
Oh,
thing I was gonna say, and then he went on Reese's Pieces for a while. He was on that s'mores cereal for a little while. He went on a kick for that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's actually kind of really good. I don't know what happened. Like one day he just decided he didn't like raisins anymore.
deceptive.
Yep.
Yep, there you go. We're heartbreaking in that right there.
Yes, isn't it though? Isn't it? Like
I don't
we've all
know
had that
if it
complaint.
ain't. I don't know if it's ooey and gooey, and then you got a bowl of ice cream to put with it. I don't know. I can
Oh.
get down. I can get behind that.
I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
His favorite drink ever is just milk. But
Milk?
he loves the Martinelli's apple juice, specifically the Martinelli's in the glass bottle, not the
Yes.
plastic ones, Mom.
He wants a grenade. He's got to have a grenade.
Yeah, that glass grenade. Yes, it's the
Yep.
glass shape
He
of
don't
the
like
apple.
the
Yes.
plastic ones. Don't buy him the plastic ones. He has to have it in glass because Costco. When we were in there, and I was like, "Oh, Bubba, they got your apple juice," and he said, "Well, hold on," and he went over and tapped on it. He said, "That's not the right one, Mom. I don't even want that." Okay.
It tastes
Why
different in the
are
glass
they
bottle than it does the
laughing?
plastic bottle. I get it.
Well, that's just like a Coke. I don't care who you are. You got Coke in a can, and a bottle, a glass bottle, and a fountain drink. And by far, the ones in the glass bottles, and then the fountain drinks, and then a canned Coke, and then you got plastic bottles.
Oh no.
But if it's a canned Coke in a cooler full of ice, a canned Coke on ice, that is almost as good as a glass bottle of Coke.
I don't know.
Mexican Coca-Cola much better than I like
Mexican
American
Coca-Cola because they use real cane
Yes,
sugar
it's
instead of
sugar.
that, corn syrup.
Yes.
Mhm.
I here in Wyoming, they make Pepsi, and we have it all with real sugar here too.
But you know what? Sebastian won't touch anything carbonated. Nothing. He hates carbonated.
Interesting.
I think it's a sensory issue thing for
It's
him.
not interesting. He's on the spectrum. They have sensory, but it's not unusual for them to have, food eat texture issues. That's not weird
Bubbles.
at all.
He can't stand anything even lightly carbonated. He can't
This is also
soda a
contrived.
day in his life. He's had a sip and hated every single time.
Funny, he didn't like that, but he likes his sugar in a different format, not in a liquid format. Then,
yeah, unless it's like chocolate milk.
right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be the carbonation bubbles then.
Yeah, carbonation specifically. Because I do the flavored waters, and he was really into it with me. So every day we'd go and we'd make our like little water talks, and we'd do different recipes. We got a whole water bar set up, and he'd help me pick out flavors, and he'd make his own waters.
Open another
But I use
beer.
sparkling water sometimes, and he would every once in a while he would grab my drink and drink it because he was being funny, and he's like, "Oh, I drink your water." Well, he every once in a while he'd grab it and it would have carbonated water in it, and he'd take one sip and be like, I'm like, "That's why you don't drink people's drinks without asking, dude."
Huh. That was a funny story.
I'm trying to roll through and see. Chat was asking some pretty good questions.
So has he ever eaten? Did he like Pop Rocks?
No, he does not like Pop Rocks.
Probably the feeling of that,
Yeah, probably Queen Bee. That's genius.
Okay.
So he tries, but he only manages to wear them for like a few minutes, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm done. Get it off me."
Did he prefer like sweats over jeans? Or shorts over pants?
He likes shorts over pants, but once he gets transitioned into pants, so like in the fall, once the weather turns and it's no longer acceptable short weather, once he gets used to wearing pants, it's not a problem. He wears them every day without a question. But it's the and then that's all.
None of that's unusual. All that's normal for
Like even at night, like so it goes fluid. So like he'll wear sleep pants when he's in the wearing pants phase, and then when we transition back to shorts, he actually
okay.
The structured routine in life, or could you just go by the seat of your pants and he would be cool to go along with the ride, or was it one of those that you have to prepare? I know changing gears can be hard.
I know.
Mixed answer on that. So overall, yes, he does much better when he is on a regular routine. And thank you. So like for getting up at about the same time every day and having the same routine to get up and get ready to get out the door, and nighttime routine, taking medicine, taking shower, getting ready for bed, same thing in the morning, getting up, brush your hair, brush your teeth, put your clothes on, make your bed, take your medicine, get your backpack, are you hungry? Do you want to take food for lunch, or do you want school lunch? That type of thing. And then, he leaves at the same time every day. But at the same time, it's like after school, once, if we've got to go to the store, it's not a huge problem if it's all of a sudden like, oh no, we need to run to the grocery store, so he's easily able to do that for the most part. So yes, he's able to just like go run some errands and things like that, but he's also, for the most part, we try to keep him on a regular routine so that he functions better. If you have sporadic bedtimes and everything, then he starts having more difficulty with being on track and on task and everything, or he'll he doesn't really sleep very well. Right. So his sleep routine has never been specific, but it's it's downtime, it's quiet time, it's you remove the stimulus, screen time shuts off at the same time every day, so decompression time. And we have the the night lights and the little fidgets for the self-stimming and everything, because that's you can't make them just do nothing. But
Right.
it's, it's turning off all the screens and, okay, we're going to be quiet. I understand you're not necessarily going to sleep, but you're going to lay in the bed and relax,
So she's repeating all of the education that Sebastian's psychologist or therapist has told her, like how to help him manage his symptoms for autism, right? So she's right about everything she's saying, but she's just regurgitating what's been told to her. But that's a good thing that she remembers it.
I saw a couple of people asking about what temperatures that he likes. Is he a cool person? Is he a warm person?
I'm hot-blooded.
He prefers to be inside. And the inside stays pretty consistent.
And
but I will say,
that's cool.
He absolutely loves going swimming. So I mean, he loves the summer because he can get out and he can go swimming. We can do more stuff.
Yep.
We did a lot more of it when we were in California. We used to go hiking a lot. They have I know they have it here, but they have waterfalls and beach hiking and everything out there that we used to go to. And he really enjoyed that.
Take notice the stories where she's actually talking about doing something with Sebastian, where that's actually a real interaction. It's all California, isn't it? She has not said one fun thing about life in Tennessee with Christopher Proudfoot and his parents. It's all her happy stories, her happy memories of Sebastian go all the way back to California. That is very telling. I worry that when Christopher came into Sebastian's life, that was when his world turned upside down.
But then again, he also really loves going outside and building and having snow fights. When we had that rain, or not rain, but the frozen snow, when it was too cold to even make a snowman.
Oh, around Thanksgiving time.
We were still outside throwing,
snowballs.
He was trying his best to make snowballs, but it wound up just being throwing handfuls of fluff across the yard.
Mm-hmm. Girl, it snowed on me today.
He for the most part, though, he likes being inside. He's the kind of kid that would rather play video games and be inside hanging out than outside playing football. But he does like going out, and he likes playgrounds, and he loves the trampoline places and running. And and yes, he does like to read Minecraft books.
Imagine
that. So we go to Barnes and Noble every so often, and he picks out books. And the only ones that he has genuinely showed interest in, and even read more than once, they have Minecraft novels. And
are you kidding me?
I am not. They're actually thick. They're called.
Oh,
I didn't even know they made those.
I had no idea.
Look up at Barnes and Noble. I think one of them is called Voyage or Voyager. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look, but.
I just wrote it down, so I'll find it. Thank you, Katie.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. He likes Barnes & Noble because there's Starbucks in there too.
Ooh, double whammy. Get the books into Starbucks.
Stupid cake pops.
Oh, those are my daughter's favorite.
Every single time we're near a Starbucks. Mom, can we get a cake pop?
Never fails.
Both the kids love them to death. I'm like, for the cost of one of those cake pops, I could buy a cake mix and make y'all a dozen cake pops.
Not the same though, Mom.
It's not the same. It doesn't have the face.
Those Starbucks cake pops, I don't know what they put in them, crack something. They are so good.
He's
Red number 7.
He's very, very particular.
What kind of
is it just me, or does this conversation just sound made up? It just seems really shallow, just devoid of any real substance. And it seems completely out of touch, a disconnect between the reality of Sebastian's life compared to what she's saying. We know that there were these CPS reports. Why is she acting like they just had this nice, normal, relaxed life? It is very strange. You think she was torn between Christopher Proudfoot and her son. She was in the middle trying to keep the peace. Giving his cats away in the beginning of the relationship tells us what she was willing to do to appease Christopher Proudfoot. Oh, yeah. For somebody to come in and think they're going to take my child's pet away? to make the new boyfriend happy? Oh no. The new boyfriend would be gone so fast. Absolutely. Just awful.
Thankful that you've been willing to share this little bit of your boy with us. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that people were they were just super thankful for this. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. I mean, I think it does help if people can actually hear about Sebastian and not all of the BS and drama that's been happening, but just my son.
The good memories. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know
why
knowing
didn't
his
you
favorite
protect your
color and
child?
drink isn't going to help find him, but it's part of him. It's part of who he is.
Well, but Katie, it might though. Think about this. Sometimes
I can't. Let's slow it down. All right. Okay, people. So that's the end. Basically, they're just going to be groveling over Katie for a few minutes.
Well, I have a better question for her, and I would address this with anybody that wanted to do that. What evidence do you have that supports your theory that one of the three parents have any idea where our son is, or we had something to do with this? Because if you have something, please bring it to law enforcement. I'm begging you.
I've already said it so many times. Everybody that comes to my channel, you guys can list the facts that make me feel very uncomfortable about Christopher Proudfoot. And out of because Katie herself has not spoken much. I don't talk about her too much. It is absolutely notable. She was the only one home, and the only way that Sebastian could have left that house was in a car, and her car did leave the house, and that's that. So done. This is a channel we discuss the information that's come out. We try to keep it focused on things that are verifiable fact. And you're never going to see a family member, a victim on this channel. Not doing that. Not going to play those political games. This is a discussion about a mystery. And right now, things look really, really bad for Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. And yeah, I think law enforcement has a lot of evidence. Otherwise, explain why this guy hired SF Investigates. Think about it. We know why SF is out there. SF is trying to find out what law enforcement knows. All right. You guys are awesome. It is now going on 10 o'clock. So I'm sure that there are some wonderful YouTube creators out there having wonderful discussions. And I think Brittany's probably getting geared up about now. So I'm an old lady. So it's about time for me to bow out and get some beauty rest. Yeah. And I hope that you have a wonderful evening. You find a channel where at least things are, enjoyable or interesting. And I'll be back. No, I will not be back tomorrow. I will not be doing a video tomorrow, but you're going to see me on Monday. All right. Thank y'all so much for being here. Remember, hit the thumbs up, put your number in the live chat. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. I do not have a regular upload schedule. And so when you subscribe, at least you'll know when I put something new up. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it so much. Monday, we're going to be going over another interview with Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. I'm just going back to the beginning. I'm just kind of sifting through the actual things they've said. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.
Angry husband's name Barry. True crime's calling, and we're taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This True Crime Jewels got what you need. twisted minds. We're unraveling secrets old Barry tried to hide.
I do want to thank Star Child for the super sticker. Thank you so much, Star Child. Nick, thank you so much. Julie Skolnick, what's CP doing without Sebastian to push around? Very good question. Disney, new member, thank you so much. Wait, what? Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you, Jules and Maud. And then keep up the chatter, new member. We got to do us a new member, a members only live. I'm going to get on that. Okay, I'm going to plan it. We're going to do it next week. Promise. All right.
Suspense is high. We're chasing truth. We spot every lie.
Good to see you, Mr. Firefly. Disney, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it.
Two flashlights out there in the dead of night.
Cinnamon, hot. Coming in strong with a new membership. Thank you, Cinnamon. We're definitely doing a members only next week.
From the coldest cases to the ones that shine.
And Gigi says, thank you, Maud.
Taking the time. So grab a seat, don't miss a beat. This true crime jewels got what you need. We're always watching Barry and waiting for the
Thank you,
truth.
Mr. Bunny.
In the world of crime, we discuss the
Thank you, Disney.
So hit that play and join the true crime journey with Jewels of Thought and her gemstone family.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good evening, and I will see you on Monday, okay? Bye-bye.